Hi everyone, my name's Ben Yee. I run a small business called RialityCheck, which develops software for rich internet applications. I also build motorcycles in my spare time. Cross-pollination is something that I'm passionate about. It's the transfer of pollen from one flower to another. I also use it to describe the term from the transfer of ideas, philosophies, concepts from one field to another field that isn't directly related. This is probably the best example of cross-pollination. You've got the crossover between, your business, the business world and the party world, and you're bringing them together to create something that's unique. It's like saying, hey, I like to do business, but on the weekends I can party. How do we use cross-pollination? Cross-pollination can be used to change careers in music, cooking, sport. An example in sport would have to be AFL. You've got the crossover between soccer, and on the other hand, you've got kiss chasing. How do I start the process? You need to research, you need to find out where you want to go, what you want to achieve. You need to think about what skills do I currently have. You can talk to people, get inspiration, get ideas from other people. What do I need to get the pollen into the flower? You need passion. Without passion, your project will sit on the back burner, you'll lose interest. You also need time, willingness to work hard, as well as patience, an open mind, and beer. What is a custom motorcycle? It's something that you take that's stock standard from the factory, and you start changing it. You start adding new parts. You start modifying it to create something that's really unique for you or your client. Why build one? Because we're all individuals. We don't all want to ride, something that everyone else has. It's also something I was passionate about, and it's also becoming more and more a form of artwork. You need to also find your direction. You need to set yourself some goals. Each bike has a certain history and a certain aesthetic to it. There are different styles such as cafe races, bobbers, choppers, and trackers, just to name a few. The cafe racer, which is probably the most well-known motorcycle, custom motorcycle getting about nowadays, originally from England, was used by a group called the Rockers. They used to ride from cafe to cafe, reaching 100 miles an hour, which they coined the term doing the ton. This is a tracker. It's based upon the 1960s dirt tracking from the States. It's seen with its wide handlebars and the more upright seating position. It's also got dirt tyres and sometimes racing colours. The bobbers and choppers, the bobbers started in the 1940s and 50s, post-World War II, by guys just getting bits and pieces of bikes and just putting them together. They're really stripped back, whereas the choppers are more high-end, lots of bling, lots of tassels. Choosing the pollen or the donor bike, you need to look at the engine condition, you need to look at the frame shape, the tank, also the price. Does the donor bike fit within the budget? Now, when we're looking at this project, we need to look at what skills do we have. Me and my friend, we both had technical backgrounds, also analytical. I also had a architectural background, and I also knew the process from getting concept through to construction. With concept design, you can use old school tools such as pen and paper for sketching, butter paper, or you can use more new skills such as 3D modeling, any kind of CAD tool. Genius loci is a term used in architecture to determine the sense of place. You can use this, you can apply it to almost anything. In this case, a bike, it's the character of the bike. You can look at its history, its current aesthetic. Detailed design is when you're building the specifics of the bike, your brackets, any tank mounts, things like that. You can use tools such as CAD, which is more new school, or more traditional, such as hand shaping, carving, that kind of thing. The construction phase is when you see your project blossoming. It's like putting Humpty Dumpty back together again. You can look at putting on your electrics and fine-tuning your engine. Now your project's in full bloom. The cross-pollination process is done a full circle. You can stop and smell the rose and be proud of what you've achieved. You need to think, how do I learn from these mistakes that I've made, if there's any? Am I still passionate about what I've done? Keep watering. Cross-pollination is a concept. It's a way to stay motivated, to achieve your goals, and to learn new things. Ideas, skills, philosophies are transferable. Don't be afraid to try. Thank you.